Now, I mentioned a little while ago about coming together to peek around the corner to see what's coming up in the future of manufacturing. And I want to put this in a little bit of perspective for you, because Industry Week has been proud to be a member of this community, the manufacturing community, since its very beginnings. A lot of people don't know this, but we started out as the Trade Review in the early 1880s. And then we changed our name in the late 1880s to Iron Trade Review. And then, in the 1930s, we changed our name to Steel Magazine. Finally, about 45 years ago, we changed our name to Industry Week. And you guys probably have caught on that our transformation at Industry Week has mirrored manufacturing's transformation as it increasingly becomes more complex forms of manufacturing. Because we believe that manufacturing isn't something that we're moving away from, like the third wave thinking, from agriculture to manufacturing to something else indefinable. We see manufacturing as changing and evolving toward more sophisticated forms of manufacturing. Think about it. Industry Week has been a part of this community during each of the last 3 or 4, or however many there were, of the predictions of manufacturing's demise in this country. In the 70s, it was Japan and the other Asian countries, mostly Japan, when U.S. share of the automobile industry plummeted from 75% to 30%. It was supposed to be the Japanese century. The sun was rising. But U.S. manufacturers were not overtaken by Japanese companies. They learned the manufacturing and the management strategies that the Japanese used to so effectively run their manufacturing plants. Developed a few of our own, and we bounced back. In the 70s, it was the services industry that was going to overtake manufacturing. And the nascent, the new PC and electronics industry. But U.S. manufacturing was not overtaken by services. Manufacturing embraced services and indeed propelled that sector's growth. And of course, well, the PC industry was just another industry, right? Another product. In the 90s, it was IT and the internet. They were supposed to overtake U.S. manufacturing as the most important aspect of the U.S. economy. But you guys can probably say it along with me. U.S. manufacturers weren't overtaken by IT and the internet. U.S. manufacturers embraced IT and the internet. And finally, at the end of the 90s and the beginning of the new century, globalization was supposed to deliver the final knockout blow to U.S. manufacturers, render them obsolete, and China was going to be the factory of the world. But U.S. manufacturing was not overtaken by globalization. U.S. manufacturers embraced globalization, entered the new markets, and continue to thrive. Now, the Industry Week Best Plants Award was born amidst some of this turmoil. In 1990, a single person, an editor of this magazine, listened to all this bad news about manufacturing. And because he was part of this community, he understood there's there's a lot of great manufacturing being done in the United States. So he asked himself a question. Who's doing well, and how are they doing it? And in 1990, we named our first class of Industry Week Best Plants winners. The class that we will honor and celebrate later today is the 25th anniversary class of the Industry Week Best Plants Award winners. This is such classic manufacturing community behavior. When presented with a challenge or an opportunity, manufacturers find a way to exploit it or to overcome it. And that's why we've been able to host the Industry Week Best Plants Conference since 1993 with a few hiccups during recessions. And we've been able to tell the stories of manufacturers who succeed in spite of recessions, in spite of low-cost competition from overseas, currency imbalances, the high costs of healthcare and taxes and torts in the US, and questionable trade policies, and a host of other problems. Ladies and gentlemen, we are now, today, experiencing another major transformation of manufacturing. We are living and working at a time when a host of technologies are all coming to maturity at the same time, ready for implementation into your facilities and into your businesses. This is a new era. And dare I say that with our low-cost, easy-to-use robots, with our sci-fi additive manufacturing, with our space-age software and design, simulation software, we're entering a new dawn of manufacturing. A time when manufacturing is seen as the vanguard of our nation's future, not as a relic of its past.